Darn.
I think God was teaching me something. But yeah, I'm like honestly, like, okay, imagine like interest rates drop to 4 to 5, right? I locked in 4% for 10 years. So let's say interest rates drop down to 4 to 5% in like 2024, 2025. Like I cash out refinance that guy and then pull all my money, and literally I could use that and probably buy a 50 unit in Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you stabilize that one for 3 years. You cash out refinance that one again. Like literally every 3 years, you could like cash out refinance and buy another one.
Sure.
And if you do that over a 10-year period, that's like you buy a 25 unit, becomes a 50, then it becomes like another 50. That's like 125 units in a 10-year window.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, how much money do you need?
I know.
Like I don't need to be like fancy jets and nice house. I mean, like something decent, eventually I want to go back to Orange County and just like buy a new house in Irvine or something in that newer development. But and honestly, I'd probably just be happy with that. And then just sitting on my cash flow and not having to work.
Sure. So next time you're ready to buy, you're going to do the same thing, like send out like 300 mailers a month kind of thing and just.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to reach out to the contacts that I didn't buy their deal to see if, they're interested in selling to anybody. Because I had people where like one guy had like an 80 unit, one guy had like 120 unit.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'd definitely reach back out to those people to see if like they ended up selling it. And
do a lot of them offers or allow seller financing, or are they open to it?
It's
harder because a lot of people don't have it paid off.
Yeah, I mean, it is rare, I'd say, but you have to work on the relationship, right? Unless they come out with it up front, like a lot of times. So like what I kind of learned too, like being more experienced, is you want to ask how they built their portfolio up. And then if they kind of say, oh yeah, I bought real estate using seller financing or bought it, creatively, then you kind of know that like you can pitch them creative finance.
Got it.
But it's really like a long-term game building relationship. But obviously, if you can buy it traditionally, it's easier to make it done. Like for me, I don't want to be the barrier, right? Like if, like worst case, if they want me to buy it traditionally and I don't have enough down payment, they can seller carry second for me a little bit, as a promissory note. And I can pay them back that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just depends. Like you said, like I feel like more people are leaning towards just traditional selling. But if they are open to it, I mean, obviously that's what I'd want to do. Like, all my capital is tied up in my mobile home park right now. And when I sell it, it's a second lien position, and all my equity's trapped in my apartment. So, I'm pretty cash poor, unless my cash flow kicks in.
But your terms are really good. You have one seller finance apartment and one like a 10-year or something?
No, the mobile home park is seller financed.
Oh, okay. That one's just regular.
Yeah, the other two are just regular.
But you had 10 years on them, don't you?
Yeah, I have 10 years on the 4% one, and the other one I had a hard money loan on my 20 unit. I had to do a cash out refinance.
And then you still have hard money on it?
No, I refinanced it.
Oh, okay.
My hard money loan was 9%, and my current loan is like 7%, so I didn't really go down much.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
The balance isn't too much, so that helps.
Yeah, it's not too much. I mean, like I said, when it drops down again, like it's kind of crazy. Like if I'm cash flowing 10K a month, my loans on those properties are only 360K. Like I can literally take all the cash flow from my properties and pay off one property in like 3 years if I want.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that? Like, can you imagine if I like paid off my 20 unit because it's a 7% interest rate in like 3 years while we're, and then when that one's paid off, like my other one, the loan's around 360K as well. Because I put in all renovation out of my pocket and then I paid that off. And imagine I own 2 apartment complexes free and clear. That's giving me around, like 30K a month.
Yeah.
Like it's like shit. I don't even do anything at that point. So I'm actually considering it. At least the one that's 7%, get that one paid off because that's basically S&P 700, right? Or
3 year flies by so fast. You just focus on one, it'll snowball for sure.
Oh yeah, and like that's not even included if I take my personal income too and throw it at it too. I mean, it'll go even faster. So like 3 years did fly by. I mean, I bought my first apartment like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Shit, it flew. 2 years ago, I thought I'd be like F you rich with a mobile home park that's cash flowing, 2 apartment complexes that are cash flowing, and I'd be retired. That was me 2 years ago. And instead, 2 years later, I'm like, oh, I appreciate my job more after going. It was funny. I bought real estate to escape my job. Now I do my job to escape real estate because real estate 24/7.
That it was for me, and then now, yeah, now I have some more free time. So yeah, I'm looking to maybe get out of state or whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh,
So when did your parents buy that property? How long ago?
the
Or was
apartment?
it you that bought it? Yeah, or was it you that bought it?
No, but they bought it when I was in high school, 2006.
Oh, no, so it's kind of high. Was it kind of the high period
No,
or
it doubled.
oh,
Since then, it doubled. Yeah,
it doubled?
but then the only issue is, yeah, he took out some money to pay down sister's dental school loans, and then build ADUs.
Oh, okay.
The issue with that, though, is in the next year, I think November, December, the rate expires.
Oh, so you're forced to like cash out
Yeah.
refinance.
I wanted to go with the 10-year, but he didn't want to. So
Yeah, I always go if you have a good rate, dude. Like just lock in that 10. Even though the prepaid does suck, but
yeah,
I'd rather have that locked in rate. And worst case, if I cash out refinance, I pay 1% or whatever. You know, but yeah, if you lock in a great rate, like it becomes an asset now, right? Like now
Yep.
my 4% interest rate is an asset.
Yep.
Not a liability. But how did your parents fund it back then? Did they just like own a business and they just funneled that?
Just rentals and sales, real estate sales and whatnot.
Oh, so they're actual like realtors?
Yeah, well, just him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, a lot of realtors they don't invest. They
No, but
just,
that's the thing. Like, yeah, no, that's the thing, right? His whole office, no one invested. Like
Yeah.
maybe one other guy, but everyone else bought a new $100,000 car every year.
yeah.
Mercedes S500 every year. Every year, he just drive Honda Pilots and Toyota Siennas and kept buying real estate every like 2-3 years.
Yeah, he did it smart, right? That's the way to do it. Like,
Yeah,
like,
but then now the problem is I have to manage everything, which is hard because I literally physically manage everything. Like,
yeah, man, you got to outsource yourself. I mean, I think you buy at such a good cost basis that you can probably afford property management.
yeah, I think
Or,
it goes back to being old school though, refugee mentality. Do everything yourself.
yeah, I mean,
Can't
I
scale
don't
that way
know.
though.
I experienced it when I was house hacking, and I would live in the master bedroom and rent out the other rooms, and I would self manage. I mean, that's a great learning opportunity and getting started. But man, I tried to replace a toilet. It took me like 8 hours to replace the toilet. I did it wrong. Called the plumber. I was just like, dude, I could literally work at my pharmacist job, make more money, and just pay a plumber to do it.
My other thing is I do so much of it that I'm like, why does it take you guys so long to do something? I can do it faster. So like in 23 to 30 days, I'll renovate a whole unit. I'll do like 80% of the work myself.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's
And I could do it for like 7,000 to 8,000 in Orange County.
or you just pay
Average,
for materials.
what's that?
Yeah, you just pay for materials, right?
Yeah,
Like
but
you
materials is cheap. Like I go direct to the source and whatnot. It's pretty darn cheap.
Oh,
Like I spend like under 2,200 or so for materials for a unit, and then I do it in like 23 days.
shit. How much would it cost to be paid to renovate that unit?
Every apartment owner I talk to, it's between 15 and 20,000. I'm doing it for like under 8.
Yeah,
But
because
I
I
did
mean,
like 9-10 of them.
because labor is usually double the materials, right? That's what
Yeah.
they can charge. So, wow. Yeah, I mean, well, if it's renovation, I think that it's fine. But like in terms of like the day-to-day stuff, but yeah, I get it. Like it's, but then you kind of are stuck to your job, right? Like you're not truly free. You just have
Exactly. That's why I
more.
want looking like going out of state where you kind of force yourself to hire a property manager. You can,
Yeah, like because when you go out of state, you have no choice, right? And then
exactly.
like for me, like yeah, I'm not gonna go to Alabama or Oklahoma regularly. Maybe I'll go back if I buy another property and just check out my 3. But I'm completely trusting it. So yeah, I think you got to go out of state, man.
Yeah. So like your 20 and 26 unit, how did you mail them? You talked to them over a couple of months. They wanted you to buy it.
Man, like they were serious. Like I didn't realize how shitty buyers were until I was starting to sell until I was selling my mobile home park. Because for me, I'm like so efficient. I'm very transparent. I make things easy, and I'm
the
like
same
very
way.
right. Yeah, we're very similar, right? It's kind of like the way of the millennial, right? Kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like how do we do it faster, better, everything efficient, right?
Yep.
And then like I just thought what I was doing was like normal, but then now, dude, man, I'm like selling to like especially mobile home parks, all like older people, older generation. Man, they take forever to do shit. Like my title, I literally told them like, hey, can you delete these 2 sentences? And I even I snapshotted it, like just take these 2 off. And she's like, oh, and she asked my property manager, oh, can you do it, Rachel? And I'm like, literally the time you spent sending me this email, you could have just fucking deleted it. Right.
Yeah.
So because I hate that and I hate all these delays, I just do it myself. Right. So I'm like, all right, here's the document. And like it's so annoying. Like my title, we had these switch title companies because the title company that I used before, the prior owner, he got so irritated that the last buyer bailed out. And I just said, hey, I have a new buyer. And I was like, do you want to do my documents? He's like, no. I'm like, dude, you literally did all the work already. Just change the name, change the buyer's name. Literally, that's it. Change the buyer's name and change the numbers. And then you're done. Right. And he still won't want to do that. So I had to go to a new title attorney. And then this new title attorney goes like, oh, this is complicated and all this shit. And, it angers me when people say things are complicated. I'm like, it's not complicated. Like, you do this every day. I can do this. You do this every day. I can do this already. And and for me, I don't do this every day.
Right.
And then they send me these paperworks and I'm like catching all their mistakes and like fixing it. I'm like,
that's
dude,
frustrating.
I'm like, but I know it's going to happen. I'm like, I even tell them like, dude, like, watch out for this. And I just tell them, stop dragging your feet. Like, just send it to me because I know you're going to fuck up and I'm going to have to fix it. So send it to me now. I'll fix it now.
Wow. They're that incompetent, huh?
Yeah. Like that's my problem. But, like, I just kind of know when to do things because I just know that like, hey, I'm willing to put in the work because it doesn't take me like 5 minutes to do it, but it doesn't take someone else 2 days to do it. And every day I don't close, I'm losing money, right? So for me, I have that sense of urgency, and everyone else was like so slow. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to wire the money. Let me go to the bank. I'm like, dude, just log on to chase.com and punch a wire in, but it's that old generation. It's even worse than mobile homes. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, yes, like, you're great, but if someone's 70% as good as you, even 50% as good as you, then you have to hire 2 or 3, and then they do more work than you, right?
Right.
More expensive, but like, think about, can 3 people be better than you? Probably. So that's where I kind of had to go out. But yeah, I know what you mean. As a kind of like high achiever and being efficient, like I've been that way my whole life, and it's like literally my property managers that have been in the industry for 30 years. They're like so freaking useless. Like I know as much as them in 2 years than they did in 30 years. And they're just like complete useless. I'm just like, I'm like the owner of that company. And like, dude, whatever you say that comes out of your mouth means nothing. You don't even back it up.
Yeah.
He just says it to say it. But I'm like, say it. And I kept on telling him, actions speak louder than words. And then he doesn't even like take the hint. And I'm just like, he told me when we went into business, like, reputation matters. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not doing business with you. And by all means, if anyone asks me, like, my experience with you, I'm just gonna tell the truth. Like,
man, there's not that much you can mess up on, but there is, huh?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, despite everything going wrong, it's just kind of like, yeah, like my property managers for like my apartments have been like so easy compared to like these mobile home park ones. So
did they come with the property, or did you find them?
No, I got my own, but I think my experience in my mobile home park is a typical experience of property management. Though they just don't care. They take forever to do things. Like literally, like if you break down most work or task, most of it can be finished within like 15 to 20 minutes if you're truly focused.
Yeah.
Right. But the problem with most people is like if something takes me like 5 minutes to do it, I'll just do it immediately.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Parkinson's law, right?
Yeah. It's just like literally just take care of it instead of freaking stressing about it and then like delaying it. So it's annoying, but yeah, I kind of, it's kind of weird. Like in one of my videos, I talked about like I grew with like so much low self-esteem, like typical Asian upbringing, right? You don't, if you're bad, they just tell you you're bad. If you're good, and it's just expected. And then so because of that, I thought like I was like the stupidest person ever. So because of that, I always like, oh, I need to work hard to just be normal.
There you go. You should thank your parents then.
Yeah, I know. But then I learned that like, oh shit, I'm not normal. I'm actually like an outlier after years. So yeah, it's funny. My parents told me not to buy real estate actually.
Oh yeah, they do that.
On my real estate.
Yeah, my dad told me not to build ADUs.
Yeah, I mean, my parents, my dad doesn't even know I own apartments.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do they even know, or?
Yeah, I never told him.
Oh,
so I'm just like, I don't want to deal with the stress. It's very stressful as it is. I don't want to deal with
criticism.
The criticism from my dad.
Yeah.
I want to wait until it's stabilized and cash flowing like crazy. But even then, he's gonna be
Now
like,
it's good though.
well, even then, he's gonna be like, "Oh, well, you got lucky. You should sell it. It's Oklahoma."
Oh wow, yeah, that's draining.
You know, like you know, what I learned is like they'll just give their piece, and then I'm just like, well, I'm still gonna hold it, so whatever. Like, you know, it's there. I own it, and like I said, no matter what happens, even if it does well, I'll be like, oh, you got lucky. You sell it. You know, but that's typical, you know, Asian.
Yeah, it is.
Immigrant mentality. I get it, right? They lost everything, so then they came here and made a better life, make it easier for me and you, obviously. You know, we're gonna have a better foundation, and then our next generation is gonna have it easier.
Sure.
After that, but that's the whole intent of it.
Yeah. Is it pretty easy to find property management, or like, are you gonna look around these areas so you can use the same one?
Yeah. So for me, like, I'm just gonna buy in Oklahoma. Like I said, like I have a team there. I have property management there. I know the areas. I know the rents. Economies of scale. So for me, it's just like, why buy apartments anywhere else when I have like it's gonna be so much easier for me to buy something like on a stress wise or knowledge or stress level is gonna be like maybe 3 out of 10. Versus if I were to go to a new market like Tennessee or Alabama or Tennessee or Georgia, my stress level is gonna be at, you know, higher, right? Because it's more unknowns for me. So for me, it just like you said, it just makes sense to like buy in Oklahoma, and then maybe eventually, you know, when I have enough money, I'm gonna buy in California. So obviously, I you know, I live here. But who knows if the cash flow is so crazy? Like why rock the if something works, why change it?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Yeah.
You know, like if you got a system, you got a team, and it works, like, dude, like just do more of whatever you're doing that's working. Like for me, I mean, to be fair, I bought my mobile home park like 3 months after I bought my freaking apartment complex.
That's insane,
I didn't know who I'd be good with, right? And then, but now that I have clarity and I've seen it, I'm like, dude, I'm doing great with single family homes in California, and I'm doing great in apartment complexes in Oklahoma, and I have a new build in Huntsville, Alabama. I can buy more of those easily too. Like I could literally 1031 one of my single family homes in California and buy like, you know, 6 new builds in Alabama, each renting for $2,000 a month.
What's the purchase price on each?
Roughly around like 250 to 300.
Okay, so a little below the 1%, but
yeah, a little bit below. You know, but when interest rates were low, I was, you know, my Alabama ones cash flowing $100 each.
Are you familiar with Tom Cruise? CRUZ?
No.
He's on social media a lot, but his thing, obviously, he's pushing up courses as well, $5,000 to $8,000 courses, but it's volume based. So his philosophy, which whether you like him as a person or not, his numbers work. He specializes in buying really bad, so cheap homes between 60 and 90,000.
Mm-hmm.
But he checks the Section 8 website, and he only buys in areas where FMR, fair market rent, for that 1, 2, or 3 bedroom will be like, let's say, 1,100 to 1,600. So he says he always aims for properties that cash flows $400 to $600 day one, and he says he has 860 of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about my new build, right, I cash for $100, right, and it's like brand new in an A-class neighborhood. You know, times that by like 10. I was thinking about buying 10 of those, right? That'd be like 8,000 net. But my only gripe about those cheap homes is like you get to replace the roof, you just wiped out all your cash flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, imagine you own a $60K house and the roof costs $30K to replace.
So I feel like the areas he buys in, the homes he has a set, they're all between like 800 square feet and 1,200 square feet. Like they're smaller, and it's just very neat, and to renovate the whole thing is cheap versus it's like for me, I love renovating 800 square foot 2-bedroom 1-bath because 23 days, I know how it works. I know there's only so much flooring, there's only so many walls you can work with, there's only so many bathrooms, so it's kind of fixed.
That's true.
So I don't know.
So many. I guess the fact that you own so many is just protection, right? Because if one needs like a new roof, then whatever the cash flow from anything else can
exactly
more than cover it.
Exactly.
So he like hedged his bet. But I'm just talking about the people who buy like one or two. It's just like the moment you have one major damage.
Yeah, wipes up 2 years of cash flow.
Yeah. So that's why I said like in that sense, I'd rather buy in California where I'm like cash flow negative or breaking even, but the depreciation is crazy, right? And then you can eventually trade that appreciation to buying cash flow.
Are you worried about rent control and all that? And like Santa Ana is passing really dumb laws. Buena Park is passing really dumb laws. It's just.
I mean, see, California, dude, like people bag on it. People always want to live here, right? It's like such nice weather. There's jobs here. Like it'll go up, right? Like you're not going to make money through renting it out. I mean, if you do midterm rentals, short-term rentals, maybe you can make some cash flow.
That's like a business. That's a job, though, to me.
But yeah, I mean, I'm networking with some people where they do midterm, short-term rentals, but they actually hire VAs in the Philippines.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
you pay them like $8 an hour, right? So like $64 a day, and then they basically will manage all their Airbnbs. Because if I pay a property manager like 30% of your gross rents, and they're probably just outsourcing it to a VA as well, right? So like basically, if you have your Rolodex of like contacts and handymen, then basically you just give it to them and then they just can ask questions. But yes, you do have to train your VA. And yes, you have to go through multiple VAs.
Yeah, one-time thing, hopefully, but yeah.
Yeah. So like for me, I'm really good because, I created my course and my education. Like I can record things for my VAs, right? So if I have a new VA, I just show them all the videos. Like, hey,
oh yeah, that's cool. Videos. Yeah.
And you have like standard operating procedures of like, okay, if there's a plumbing issue, ask these questions, ask the tenant for these things. And, if it finds out, then call this plumber and have them look at it. Like you can dumb it down to that level. So, I have thought of that too, where like, I've been so focused on the mobile home park, but I am thinking like, is there any way I can juice my cash flows on my single family homes? Because like right now they're just breaking even or slightly negative, right? But if I could actually turn them into a cash flowing asset, then damn, like
that would have to be midterm or short term or ADU. Yeah, too cash intensive.
It'd probably be a midterm rental.
Yeah, I think mid would be good. Yeah, you're in the healthcare field, maybe. Yeah, in right like, there too.
Most of mine are like near hospitals, so like, but I don't want to rock the boat yet. But if I can juice my cash flow, because midterm rental typically doubles whatever you're getting, right?
Mm-hmm. No, you have to furnish it and all that, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to spend probably like $10K to furnish it.
Right. It's a write-off, but still, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and a lot of cities don't like short-term right now. So yeah, I think midterm is the best way to go. We were thinking of doing that too, but there's no parking. That's the problem.
It's the best of both worlds, right? Where like, when you own like a 10 unit, you can make like 8 of them long-term rental, 2 midterm rentals, and have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Where you have the stability of a long-term tenant, but you can juice your cash flows a little bit with the midterm rental model. So yeah, that's what I've kind of been looking at, but yeah, I think man, I don't know, if I were you, I would just buy some new build in Alabama just to get the concept of outsourcing. I think that's your limiting factor right now. I mean, I think it's okay to renovate.
If it's new construction, if it's new construction though, I mean, like there's no capex really, and
exactly.
I don't need property manager. Then it's gonna be all me, right?
No, but to rent it out, right? I mean, you're not gonna be in Alabama,
right. But they're not gonna really call for much.
Correct.
Why would I pay someone 10% if they're rarely gonna call?
That's true too. I mean, I guess you just can pay a leasing agent to
just sign on
to basically get them in there. But yeah, I paid my property, 10%. But like I said, even despite paying them cash for $800, right? And then you're just leveraging their network, their connections. But yeah, technically, if I own like, if I'm paying them $200 a month, right? So if I have like 10 of those, I actually could hire just a VA.
There you go.
I could hire a VA and they basically can manage it. And because a lot of times when something breaks, you call the warranty. Other than that, you have to call somebody, could do that too. But I don't know, like it's just the cost of doing business, right? Like if you want to scale, I mean, that's the kind of the cost you're gonna have to do.
Because I mean, like a 12 to 30 unit, probably 12 to 20 unit would be great for me to start practicing out of state, like kind of like one of yours, especially at that price too, obviously, but that's unheard of now. Yeah. And like you said, you only need one to change your life, or just focus on paying it down and whatnot, and then you're set for life.
Yeah, that's one of my videos. Yeah, like if you can get something like under $1 million, around that $1 million price point, and could be like 10 to 30 units depending on the market. And then yeah, just having a property manager deal with it, because for me, like I said, I literally have them renovate everything, and yes, I know that it's not as efficient, but to me, I'm just paying for the convenience and the peace of mind, and that's how you scale, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, that's how it should be though.
yeah, like for me, like I'm not handy, so I guess it's easier for me. But I thought about it too, dude. Like if I was handy, shit, I'd probably like buy a house and live in it and fix it up myself if I could. If I was kidding. There's this one girl that does it. That's pretty big. Um, but yeah, man, if I were you, I would like record you renovating it like all the time and upload that stuff onto YouTube, and
Yeah.
then people can watch you do it. And then, like you said, when I see him do it, I'm like, huh, it doesn't look as hard as you think, right? You're just cutting, gluing things, taping things, and adding it there, right? So I'm just like, it's not that bad, but you have to have that skill and have that want. But yeah, man, I would love if that was an option. Like just
No, sometimes it's a bad thing because then you do everything, then you don't scale.
that's
It's
true.
like Beardy Brandon. He's extremely handy. I think he might even be a contractor. He forced himself to get rid of every tool he had in his house so that it forced him to hire people. If not, he would drive there and do it himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's you have to remove an identity if you want to go to the next level, right? And I think your identity is that, and you're gonna have to remove it somehow. And I think for me too, I was too limited by in-state as well. And then once I bought my one in Alabama first, I was like, huh, like this isn't as bad as I thought, right? And then after that, I bought an apartment out of state. I was like, huh, this isn't as bad as I thought either. And then now I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like I kind of want to just sell my homes here and buy apartments over there, more cash flow. Don't think about it, not to worry about it.
You think you could buy something again, like around those prices, like 500 for 25 unit, 26 unit?
I doubt it. I'll be honest.
But either way, right? You just buy it in a wedge deal, and then it just kind of scales as long as you double the NOI, right? You have to somehow double the NOI though.
Correct. So like for me, I double the rent, and I double the rent, you double the value, right?
Right.
So for me, I know the rent. So if I'm getting around 700, 750, so they're charging around $400 right now, then that's a killer deal, right? As long as I can buy it with some margin, then I'm good.
Is it accurate to say like if each unit should be 60,000, and if you could buy it for like 45, it's an automatic win?
Well, yeah, accurate? You're buying it for like, well, you have to put in around, probably you're gonna have to renovate it, right? So you're probably putting around 10K to renovate it at least, right? So, like I said, if I bought the one for 35K and put in 10K, if it's worth 45K, and then if it's worth 60, then you got that 15, what is that, 25% margin. So yeah, it's just numbers, right? It's just math. But I didn't like when I bought it, it was 50K per door, but now it's 65K per door. Like my property managers, they keep on trying to want me to sell it because they want the commission. I'm like,
they do both?
Yeah, of course. So that's what they do. So what they do is most property managers are brokers. It's not hard.
Got it.
Right? Because like if they sell one of their tenants or one of the people they manage properties, then they get the commission. So they make money because they're my general contractor, so they get paid a general contracting fee a little bit.
Oh wow, okay. They do everything.
Yeah, but then also they try to want me to sell because they're like, oh, we can get you like I was literally offered $1.3 million before doing any renovation from someone who wanted 31 to my 26 unit.
Yeah.
And I was offered 1.3 and I put no money into the deal and I didn't even start renovations yet. And I said no. So I was just like, I want to hold this for the rest of my life, and this isn't my retirement. If I sell this and I mean, I guess I could get the money and just sit there and retire too,
or exchange it, but
then I don't know if I could find another property, right? And I knew that like, well, I don't want to sell. I'm just gonna cash out, refinance, pull the money out, buy something else, right? So, I was just like I said, like. Literally, the difference between me working and not working is this 26 unit. I wouldn't give it up. I want to be able to have steady income coming in.
No, I agree. Yeah, no.
Every month. So
you're almost gonna regret selling anything except the mobile home, maybe.
Yeah, I
You might
mean,
even regret that. You don't know, right?
I could. Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I think right now it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's what I hear people say is that they regret selling anything, right? Like,
Yep.
like fast forward 20 years, like shit, like everything's like, it's more expensive now, and like, why did I sell that? But what I kind of learned was like, well, yeah, you make decisions based on your current situation. Yeah, if I'm like super wealthy and selling a bunch of crap, and I'm big on YouTube and selling a bunch of courses and coaching and mentorship and all that stuff, I'm like, yeah, I would never sell, right?
Oh,
I would buy more. What I would do if I was making so much money from my side business is like I would literally just house hack 10% down a house every year and just move and move and move 10% down.
wow.
And I could be negative cash flow on those properties, and I don't care because I'm getting other income sources, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not relying on that to live. It's just there to build wealth. But I don't know. On the flip side too, it's just kind of like, why burn yourself out? Like, even where I hit right now, I have a video coming out talking about dive zero, but like I've honestly accumulated way more wealth than I ever thought I would at my age already. And if I stop, it'll still compound. I can literally just stop and do nothing.
Yeah.
And just let it compound. And that's like way more wealth than ever, right? Like and I'm sure you have it too. Like high achievers, we're very hard on ourselves, and we're focused on like, oh, I should be doing better, faster.
Yeah. No, I
right?
agree. No.
But then like when I kind of summarize, I'm like, so in 2 years, I worked full time and I was able to build 10K a month net cash flow. That's crazy. Just that thought is crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I not on a Bigger Pockets podcast episode, right?
Why not?
I apply, they don't take me.
Why?
They don't like Asians. Do you see Asians on the show?
I don't remember. I just turn it on and it just plays in the background. I don't really watch it.
I'm just
I
kidding.
don't even know who's on it.
I'm too small to get canceled by saying that, but it's true. I mean, I listen to a lot of. I stopped listening to it because it doesn't give me value anymore.
Okay.
They just get you excited to buy real estate, and then they sell a lot of boot camps and courses now too.
Oh yeah, everything's about courses now. But yeah.
Yeah, they're good at getting you excited about real estate and then taking action. That's basically their whole purpose. But in terms of like actually like buying something, like honestly, if you just bought it and learned while doing it, then you'll learn way more than any course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it's nice to like have a baseline, right? Like that's why I think like my course compared to others is like I literally like dive into like the meat and potatoes of like what to do. Like this is what I do, you know. That's the only difference, but you learn a lot by just doing it, right? You can read about it,
Sure. Yeah.
hear about it, but you don't learn about it until you're actually doing it, right? Like I'm sure you know a lot about renovation because you actually do it, right? Like me, I walk in, I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. How much does that cost to fix?
Yeah.
So it's less value. So for me, I listen to a lot more mindset stuff now, like
Oh,
just
that's
about
good. Yeah.
the success mindset and like the story, and like there's a lot of patterns involved in that, and like even if I slow down and not scale as fast, because it's weird. Like I've been buying so much real estate. I haven't bought real estate in like a year and a half. It's been weird, right? It's like, what? I'm always buying, right? And then, but yeah, like literally, I just can wait till interest rates drop down, cash out, refinance my 2 apartment complexes, and go buy a 50 unit, and then stabilize that in 3 years. And honestly, it's gonna be easy for me. I don't know what to do already.
That's your goal for sure.
I'll see. Like I might want to pay one off or both off. Like it just depends on how long I want to work for, right? Like
Yeah, for sure.
like I just want to like pay off my line of credit. I invest in whole life insurance as well. I just want to pay those off, get those done with, and then buy a house for me to live in, right? If there's a garage, hopefully I can convert that and live in the garage and rent out the main house. And then when I'm ready to like have a family and whatnot, then live in the main house and rent out the back house.
Yeah.
And then from there, at that point, maybe I'll reevaluate if I want to scale again in real estate. But I think it's going to be a season to pause for me for a little bit.
A lot of people don't hit their primes until they're in like their mid 50s or 60s. So yeah, you still have a lot of time.
Yeah, like I'm like 33,
That's a
so
great baseline though. That's a really good foundation though. So
yeah, I'm like my wealth level is that of somebody in like their 50s, right?
right, yeah.
So like I feel so fortunate to be in the situation, and then it's just like, what's the point of the race? Like I'm trying to, like I feel like I was too fixated on a certain number of like units, and I'm just like, I think now that I know I can get there, it's like not as like I know I can get there organically without stressing myself out.
Mhm.
It's just kind of like, why? Like what benefit would it be for me to like scale faster? Like now don't get me wrong, if I have a windfall of like, making like millions from like YouTube and the course and whatnot and mentorship, by all means I'll buy my real estate, but until that happens, like it just doesn't make sense
Right.
like in the current position. But if I were to become ultra successful in social media, and there's a lot of potential in social media and courses, right? It's very scalable and no overhead costs. But yeah, if I'm able to make a bunch of money, yeah, I could buy my real estate and scale. But as I am right now, it just doesn't make sense unless I cash out refinance something, or after my note gets paid off on my mobile home park and I get my lump sum back. It just doesn't make sense, and my lifestyle doesn't necessarily increase, right?
Mhm.
Like still working now. If my apartments are like paid off completely and it's guaranteed income for the rest of my life, that's more of impact on my life than leveraging and buying maybe 50 to 100 more units that need time to stabilize as well. And you have to like pump money in to fix it up, right?
Sure, yeah.
Stabilize. So it just really depends. Like, like if my real estate can self-sustain and I just need to work my W-2, then I just live off my W-2. That's fine. I don't mind working my W-2.
Yeah,
But
you don't want to work till you're like 65 or something, but yeah.
yeah. Like I don't
You want the
mind.
option, yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, I would love, like, it doesn't make sense now, but I would love to like invest in like a virtual assistant where they can like edit some of my videos for me. And then, if there's not many videos to edit, they can also serve as like property manager
There you
for
go.
trouble, at least training them, like using them as a guinea pig.
You should. They're so cheap. You might as well just try.
Yeah. I mean, right now it doesn't make sense because I'm pumping everything in there. But yeah,
Right.
once like I'm starting to cash flow positive and then
Yeah.
like things are in a better situation, like that's basically once my park is sold and I'm like not losing money now, and then all my obligations are paid off and I'm in a good position. Yeah, I'm going to invest in like, um, you know, courses or whatever to help the YouTube business or
Sure.
a course business and all that, because that's what all those course people do. Like they, especially the big real estate ones, they make a lot of money. Like just, I'm sure like that's Nguyen.
Oh yeah, I heard his numbers were ridiculous. I didn't even know it was that high.
Yeah, like he's basically making like $8-9 million a
Yes,
year
a
just off
year. Yeah,
mentorship, right? And like you
exactly.
think about it, dude, like you just make a course, like he basically just teaches the burn strategy and building ADUs and
Yeah,
detached ADUs. That's all he does,
and the
right?
same script. Yeah, the same scripts over and over.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, dude, all that information's out there for free.
Yep.
It's nothing like rocket science, but like he has people buying it. He's doing great with his socials.
Oh yeah, he hypes it up for sure.
He hypes it up. So I'm just like, dude, I'm like him, but like 33. I mean, he started investing for like 3 decades. I'm just like a younger version of him.
Yeah, yeah.
So like,
But he gets a lot of the younger ones because his cars and whatnot.
yeah, he definitely like flexes a little more, and
Yeah.
I mean, deservingly so. I mean, he grinded for 30 years, but like I imagine I'm gonna be like that when I'm like in my 50s and 60s, right?
Yeah.
Like I by all means, like I don't need a nice car right now, but if I have like that FU money, yeah, my dream car is an Audi R8. Yeah, I'll get an Audi R8.
Yep.
But also it's stressful too when you drive around and people know you're rich. Like it kind of draws certain attention. I kind of don't like that either.
Especially in California now. Yeah.
Yeah, like if people want to sue you, or like if you hit a curb, you're like, God damn it, like versus I hit a curb in like a BMW or Camry, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, so basically he owns a bunch of real estate himself, but like he develops apartments himself actually. So he buys single family homes of commercial zoning and then tears it down and builds like apartment complexes, and they're like super cash flow negative. I'm like, yeah, he's funding it through like his other properties which he's owned for a while, plus through his like YouTube business.
Sure. Yeah.
And then so he basically can play the long game.
Yeah, but a lot of it he keeps, which is how you build wealth, which I totally agree with that. Yeah. Don't sell all these flippers and stuff. I don't, yeah.
Yeah,
residential.
like all these flippers, like, man, who are doing 50 homes, like, dude, just burr those homes. Damn, man, your wealth will be crazy.
Exactly.
Like, but it's hard. I get it because you do want, like, I did think about wholesaling deals that I don't want, I don't want.
Uh-huh.
And if I can get, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K for things I don't want, then it totally is worth it.
I mean,
Like,
if your yellow card, whatever thing method works, you're attracting the right sellers, right? And you can wholesale those for
yeah,
sure.
because I got a bunch of like people were like, they have like fourplexes. I'm like, I don't want a fourplex, but like, I could wholesale it, make like
Yeah.
5K to some person who wants a fourplex, right? And
Like even now, are you getting any calls from those letters you sent out a year or 2 years ago?
no, I haven't had one in a while.
Okay, because sometimes they keep it in their drawer for like 6 months, 8 months, a year, and then they call you later, right?
Yeah, that's what happened for my 20 unit.
Okay, how long were they called?
It was like literally 8 months later. He wrote me a letter back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then, so like I said, I have a lot of contacts of people that like I reached out to and didn't end up buying their deal, and like that's the first place I'm gonna reach out.
And you're not cold calling because technically you just mailed them and they called you, right?
Yeah, I have their number like in my phone or their
Yeah,
email.
that's the best. Yeah.
They literally emailed me. So like literally, like in this time when I buy my next apartment, I'm gonna document everything. Like every call that I make, I'm gonna record all my calls and upload it to YouTube.
Nice. Yeah.
People can learn from it, right? Like I
No.
wish I documented all that stuff and like the journey and all that stuff, but I was too focused buying. But now I'm gonna document like literally everything and then teach people and show people like how to actually do it in the weeds. So it's, but yeah, man, that's kind of interesting because like I know a lot of people like your situation, like, oh, I wish I grew up in a real estate family. I'm like, oh, it comes at a cost too, right? It's not as you're kind of forced into it. Whether it seems like you like it at least, but some people don't. Some people
Right.
don't like
Yeah.
it. And
Both my sisters don't even know where our properties are. They don't even know we have these properties.
Yeah, imagine if there wasn't you and just your sisters. Like they would have to like self-manage themselves or hire property management.
They probably would have sold it by now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, or they just would sell
them,
it.
yeah.
Cash, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I thought too. I'm like, dude, I might have kids where like if none of them like real estate, I'm gonna end up selling all this stuff anyways. Right? Or seller financing it and just making them get the monthly payments as a bank. So
that's a lot of single family homes, a lot of them that hit the market now, no one's really selling because rates are so low. So the ones that are selling, a lot of them inherited the property and they don't want to be landlords. So then they just sell it because they don't want to deal with their parents' rentals. I'm seeing that a lot now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what I'm seeing too. And like I said, you can do all you can, and who knows, I might get 2 kids that don't want anything to do with real estate. Like shit.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,